Jidit, and today we will discuss chest X-ray lateral view. So lateral view is taken to complete the findings of the PA view to get a 3D image. Only with the help of the lateral view that we can pinpoint the location of the lesion that we find in the PA view, and then we could follow it by a CT scan to confirm the diagnosis. Okay, so if you simply write down lateral view, it would be a left lateral view, because radiologists always try to minimize the magnification of heart shadow, and you will get a lateral view of the chest if you simply write down lateral view. Left lateral view you will be getting. So for right lateral view you have to specifically write down right lateral view. Now coming on to the lateral chest X-ray, how to approach a lateral chest X-ray. So there are many methods. Some prefer the mediastinal method, in which each and every mediastinum is studied sequentially. First the anterior, then the middle, posterior, then the upper mediastinum. Some prefer to first study the heart shadow followed by the lung shadow. There are different methods, but we will use a very simple method, the very same method that we used in the chest X-ray PA view, that is the ABCDEF method. Okay, so like the PA view, A stands for the airway. Like the PA view, the A stands for the airway. So the airway is the trachea. First we will mark the trachea. So the trachea would be here. This would be trachea. I am not sure whether it is clear to you. So this is the marking of the trachea. So posterior to trachea there is the esophagus, but the esophagus would be not visible, but the esophagus will become visible and it will lie posterior to the trachea if there is some air trapping in the esophagus. So this is all about A. Then B for the bones. So here there are two bones, one is the sternum and other one is the spine. So we can mark the sternum, it is easily visible. So this is the sternum. Okay, so we have the sternum. Then the spine is also very much visible in the X-ray. We can mark the spine, the borders of the vertebrae. So these are the spines. So you can mark the spine and the sternum. Okay. So this is all about the section B, the bones, the sternum and the spine, the vertebrae. Then the C stands for the cardium and the mediastinum. So first the anterior mediastinum. So this is the anterior mediastinum. So the anterior mediastinum, usually it is empty. Some soft tissue can be present in children. This indicates the thymus. Apart from that, the anterior mediastinum is empty. Then the heart. So anteriorly the chambers, we can mark the chambers of the heart. So first the right ventricle. So we can mark the right ventricle. So this is the right ventricle. Then followed by that there is a small hump. This is the hump for the pulmonary veins. The hump for the pulmonary vein. And this is followed by a big hump. This is the hump for the aorta. So you can clearly see this. Okay. So this is the aorta. This is the ascending aorta, the arch of aorta, and the descending aorta. So anteriorly we have the right ventricle, the pulmonary vessels and the aorta. Then posteriorly we have the left ventricle. This is the left ventricle. Then the left atrium. The left atrium. So left atrium is the posterior most chamber. Okay. So sometimes, we have the chambers, right ventricle, pulmonary vessels, the aorta, the left ventricle and the left atrium. So sometimes if there is some hypertrophy of the heart, the chambers will be extending in different directions. So the right ventricle would be enlarging anteriorly and upwards. The right ventricle would be enlarging anteriorly and upwards, and eventually it will extend to the anterior mediastinum. And if there is some hypertrophy of the left ventricle, it would be extending backwards, and the left atrium would also be extending backwards. So this space would be obliterated by the left ventricle and the left atrium depending upon the amount of hypertrophy. Okay, so this is all about the heart and its chamber, the mediastinum and the cardium. Then D for the diaphragm and the gastric air bubbles. So as you can see, there are two markings. The upper marking is for the right diaphragm, the lower marking is for the left hemidiaphragm. So as we know that the right diaphragm is at a higher level, so this is for the right diaphragm, and the lower marking is the marking for the left diaphragm. Okay, this is the left diaphragm. So the right diaphragm would be at a higher level, and sometimes you can also have a air shadow, the gastric air shadows below the left diaphragm. So in this particular X-ray it is not visible, but usually there is some air shadow below the left diaphragm. So this is all about D, the diaphragm. Then E for effusion. So for effusion we can examine the costophrenic angles. So this is the posterior costophrenic angle, the right posterior costophrenic angle, and the right anterior costophrenic angle, and the left posterior costophrenic angle. And if there is some effusion due to some pleural disease, the posterior costophrenic angle would be blunted. Okay, so this is all about E. Then F for the lung shadow. So first you should mark the fissures, the oblique fissure and the horizontal fissure. So usually the oblique fissure and the horizontal fissures are not visible in the lateral X-ray, but you have to just mark that so that we could have an idea of the lobes of the lung. So first mark the oblique fissure. So the oblique fissure would be something like this. It would be extending upwards, and it would be something like this. So this is the oblique fissure. This is the oblique fissure. So by drawing the oblique fissure, you can clearly divide the lung, and this section is the lower lobe. So as you can see, the lower lobe is extending upwards. Then draw the oblique fissure. So the oblique fissure would be something like this, even near about this. This is the oblique fissure, and this is the oblique fissure, and this is the horizontal fissure. This is the horizontal fissure. Okay, so the horizontal fissure divides the lung fields into the upper lobe and the middle lobe. Then we have the oblique fissure. Behind that there is the lower lobe. So by drawing these fissures, you can divide the lung fields into upper lobe, middle lobe, and the lower lobe. And if there is a lesion, you can clearly localize the lesion that you have seen in the PA chest X-ray view. Okay, so this is all about chest X-ray lateral view. Thank you.